So I left Texas and then I got on the Greyhound. I stopped in LA. I stopped in LA and I ended up staying there for like 6, 8 months. I rapped a little bit, but LA is a whole nother story. And so I'm not gonna get into it right now. My girlfriend down there, she says, in my life, I'm gonna have a chapter dedicated to you. So I'm gonna dedicate a chapter to her. She was too important in my life to talk about her right now in such a small time frame. And so I'm on the Greyhound bus from LA going to Seattle, and I get off the bus in Seattle, and it starts to rain, and I go to a payphone in Belltown to find out where exactly the record label is because they accepted a collect call from me back in the 80s. People always ask, why did you go to Seattle to rap? Because I made a collect call in the mid 80s, early to mid 80s, um, to Nasty Mix Records. It was like, yeah, collect call from Casanova Giovanni. And they accepted it. Like, wow. Like, yeah, it's the Devastating Lovers. And Nasty Ness was like, well, if you got some talent, send up a demo tape with 3 songs. It took years. Never sent it. I took it. And the reason why people would say if you would have went to New York, you would be famous right now. Why didn't you go to New York? And the reason is, like in 84, 85, I went to a concert with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. They were the headliners. And they had a song like Fast Life. He likes to wheel and deal. Fast Life. He likes to rob and steal. And so, but they had this, they had this guy opening up for him. It was a young dude, not too much older than me. And the haters in Cincinnati, they were throwing ice at him. And he was like, yeah, he grabbed his dick like, yeah, homeboy that threw that ice is just jealous. So a couple of months later, I'm at the movie theater watching Crush Groove, and I see this guy in this movie. It's fucking LL Cool J. He changed my whole rap style when I seen him at that concert. Because before that, I was rapping like Dr. Dre Surgery or or Run DMC. Like it was that type of rap that I was doing. And I seen him again in like 1987. Was chopping it up, and I said, "What does a rapper from Cincinnati have to do to make it?" He said, "No rapper from Cincinnati will ever make it. It's too many rappers in New York. It's like playing basketball on a team and everybody's Jordan." This is what LL Cool J said to me. And so I was like, fuck New York. And I had heard, like writing on Joe Cooley, fuck New York. But I heard I heard Sir Mix-a-Lot in Seattle rapping about buttermilk biscuits. I was like, anybody can rap about anything up there. I'm going up there to rap. And so I take Nastiness, the the tape. I go down to the record label. No one's in the front, you know. No receptionist. They're I don't know what she's doing. And so I just start wandering through the office, and then I go straight to Ness's office, and he's in there. So I give him this tape. I'm like, here you go. And he says, come back in 3 weeks. I was like, 3 weeks? What the fuck am I supposed to do? I don't even know. This is what I'm thinking. What the fuck am I supposed to do. This ain't how this shit works out. I give you the tape. You listen to it. Bitches, champagne and limousines, baby. And so I'm like, damn, I got 3 weeks. So I leave and I see this place. It says cheap rent. I'm pretty sure the rent wasn't $5, but I went in to see what was going on. So they gave me a voucher to this place called The Mission. He said, you can stay at The Mission. I was like, The Mission? I'm on a mission, baby. I ain't never slept in a mission. What is a mission? He said it's a place where homeless men go. I've never been called a man before. I was only 18 years old. And I didn't even think I was homeless. So I walked down First Avenue and I get there, but it's on Second Avenue. Or it met somehow. It was weird. And I got in there that night. I cried and I cried and I cried. I would have took a whooping to be back home. And so the next morning they kick everybody out early in the morning. So I'm walking up Yesler and I'm passing I-5 and I'm just looking down at the cars and I'm like, I'm about to jump. I ain't got no job. I don't know nobody. About to end this shit. But then I was like, what if I jump and don't die? Then I'm fucked up. I don't have no insurance. I'll come back and jump when I get a job. And so I walk up to like 23rd and Yesler. I bust that left. Then I just start walking down Jefferson. And I see this guy at the bus stop. First motherfucker I've ever seen in Seattle. Really. Outside of the motherfuckers I had seen. And he looked about my age. And he was over at the bus stop. And I went over there. I was like, man, where you going? He said, I'm going to work. I said, where you work? He said, I work at the Bond. I said, is that down by the cranes, by the water? He said, yeah, I guess, kinda. I said, let me use your address. I got a girlfriend in L.A. that needs to write me and knows I'm okay. And he gave me his address. You can never do that shit these days. So he gives me the address and shit. And then I go to his house before he gets home that same day because I ain't got shit to do. And his mom was like, well, he's not here. It was Sean Savage and Ma Sav. And she was like, I'll tell him to stop by. So at the end of that day, I had 3 jobs. I can't work 3 jobs a day. I can work 2. And so I took those 2 jobs. It was at Winchell's on 3rd and Wendy's on 4th and Union. I would go to Winchell's from 4 in the morning to 12 in the afternoon. Then I would go to Wendy's from 4 in the afternoon to 12 at night. Like, I was on the grind. And that's why I always chose Seattle. Because I knew if I was down, I could always get a job. And that lasted until now, damn near. It's the West Coast, you know? It's the West Coast stories, baby. Real story time with your boy R. Will.